and explain this compound. What is winstrol in the first place? Winstrol is a DHT derivative, meaning it is derived from dihydrotestosterone, and as such, one, it does not convert to estrogen whatsoever, and two, it does not convert to any other metabolite or compound. An example of such a conversion would be equipoise, converts not only to estrogen, at 1/5 the rate of testosterone, but it also converts into DHB, which is dihydroboldenone. So, as is the case with pretty much every DHT derivative compound, winstrol, obviously, does not convert to estrogen or any other metabolite, DHT or anything like that. So, rule that out. This is what makes DHT derivatives very strong compounds in terms of anabolic gain, is just the sheer fact that they do not convert to any other metabolite, or they do not convert to estrogen. So let's get right into the nitty gritty here. So to speak, winstrol, what is it good for? Winstrol is such a highly underrated compound, guys. It's amazing. Winstrol is an amazing mass gainer. It's an amazing pre-contest drug. It's an amazing all-around performance enhancer. We're talking any sport, and there's a good reason that every single athlete, mostly in the Olympics, has been busted for winstrol. Stanozol, for good reason, because it works and it's an amazing compound. It does its job in terms of stamina, performance enhancement, speed, strength. Winstrol is very powerful, and it does what it's supposed to do in this case. So, like I said, that's what pretty much every athlete has got busted for. If they've gotten busted, is winstrol, and for good reason, because it works. For us bodybuilders, this is one thing you haven't heard before, is that for us bodybuilders, winstrol has the unique ability of giving you that shrink-wrapped look, basically pulling out the water that's sub-Q, in other words, underneath the skin. And why does it do that? Let's get right into that, because most people don't understand. Winstrol, guys, does not just not convert to estrogen, it's also anti-estrogenic, which means that it interferes with estrogen signaling. That's why it gives you that shrink-wrapped look. That's why it gives you a very dry and hard look, which is great. Absolutely amazing. Great pre-contest drug, great for bodybuilders. Like I said, it's a great mass gainer. But the shrink-wrapped look it gives you from basically interfering with estrogen metabolism is a double-edged sword. It gives you a negative side effect along with the positive. Winstrol will reduce the synovial fluid inside your joints. And in English, in bodybuilder terms, this basically means that you have less synovial fluid in your joints, and this causes the dry, achy, hurting feeling. You'll get pre-contest or when using this compound. I never got it at 25 milligrams. I will never forget the time. My experience with winstrol, I've used it a few times, but my first time using it had 50 milligrams, pharmaceutical grade winstrol, split 25 milligrams AM, 25 milligrams PM, used it, and I'll never forget, a couple weeks in, you feel that dry, cracking sensation in your joints. Now, some people get it worse than others, as of any other anabolic steroid side effect, but that's a very noticeable effect. So I know what you guys are going to ask me next. Can this be averted? And to a large extent, yes, it can be. That is just by keeping your estrogen higher. We're talking about using more test or using a compound which actually binds to estrogen receptors, which would be anadrol. So, you take your pick. Either an estrogenic compound, something that converts to estrogen, or to a compound that basically binds to the estrogen receptor. I think anadrol is the only one in that regard. But that's pretty much it, guys, on how winstrol works. Dosing recommendations. This is going to vary a lot, just like with any other anabolic steroid. The bare minimum to get any sort of effects from winstrol, you're going to need 25, 30 milligrams for, to get basically that dry, hardening look from winstrol. That's what you're going to need. That's the minimum. In terms of mass gain, performance enhancement, it's dose dependent. You're going to notice right from 10 milligrams all the way up to whatever dosage you go up to, you could go up to 100 milligrams with winstrol. Really, the factor here limiting you from taking winstrol into the very high dosage range per day is going to be liver toxicity issues. Now, again, you don't know how these compound affects you, and that's why I recommend getting your liver tested, liver values, seeing after a couple weeks of whatever dosage, just to see how this compound affects you, affects your body. Otherwise, obviously, you can tell your liver toxicity. You know, if you don't have an appetite, if you're feeling lethargic all the time, that means your liver's getting taxed, guys. You know, I wouldn't obviously just use that as your sole means of gauging, you know, how toxic your liver is, but that's a very easy way to tell. Going forward, let's see, anything else I need to talk about here. I mean, that's pretty much the basics. That's basically a rundown on Winstrol. Is that amazing mass builder? You know, people want to hate on this compound and say that, you know, it's only a pre-contest drug. That's not true. Winstrol is an amazing mass builder, far more powerful than Dianabol or testosterone milligram per milligram, and a great addition to any stack. Like I said, does not convert to estrogen or any other metabolite. You know, amazing compound pre-contest and amazing compound for performance purposes. You know, the only thing is with Winstrol, like I said, you're going to get that side effect of, you know, drying out the joints, you know, from basically reduced synovial fluid inside your joints, from basically Winstrol having estrogenic properties and interfering with estrogen mediated effects. So, you know, moving forward with this compound, you have the knowledge, you've heard the Winstrol.